Hello and welcome to Wrestling. Merry Christmas. Before we start the video, make sure to subscribe because we're doing these videos twice a week where we catch up on all of WWE's main roster events, and if you've got any interest in that, make sure to subscribe. So, the Christmas edition of Smackdown Live. It was a pre-record this year. Of course, last year they had to work across Christmas and people weren't very happy with that. So they did pre-records this year, and that's a good thing. We kicked off the Christmas edition of SmackDown Live with Fabulous Truth, dressed as Santa and an elf. Elf, when I can speak. So it was Truthy Claus and Carmelfa, apparently. 7-second Carol break. And Carmella is definitely no singer. Her voice while she was singing was awful. Yeah, let's stick to the dancing. She's okay at the dancing. Not great at the dancing, but okay. Better than the singing. Daniel Bryan comes out to criticise the crowd about all the eco stuff. He says a line about the islands of misfit trash, which I thought was a great line. But yeah, he's berating the crowd still for their pollution. Truth says that Daniel Bryan better watch out because Truth's number 30 in the Royal Rumble. And when he wins the Royal Rumble, he's coming for the belt. Daniel Bryan says, how can you do that when you can't even count to 30? Truth says he can, and he starts to count, and when he gets to 7, they say dance break, but Daniel Bryan does a chop block and proceeds to destroy the knee of R-Truth. So that's kind of Daniel Bryan's go-to sort of thing at the minute, isn't he? He's the knee destroyer, that's what I've named him. Almas versus Ali follows that opening segment. It's a fast-paced match which Ali manages to win with an 0-5-4. It was a decent match, very entertaining stuff, and yeah, Ali sort of proving why he's been brought up to the main roster, and it's nice to see Almas getting matches on a more regular basis too. I'm still confused by his swinging elbow thing though. It looks like a mistake every time he does it. We get Samoa Joe backstage. He says he'll be nice to Jeff. No, sorry, it'll be nice for Jeff to make up for lost time. He's Jeff's new addiction. So he's saying that he himself, Samoa Joe, is Jeff's new addiction in life. Then we get the Usos and the Good Brothers versus Sanity and the Bar. New Day come out. Big E's oiling himself up on the way down to the ring, which was really funny but also pretty creepy. And then Corey and Phillips are freaking out because he's sort of over by the commentary desk and they're saying it's a PG show. Big E cracks me up. Anyway, the New Day are doing their little commentary spot. What I never understand with this is why do they get the New Day out to do commentary? But we only get to hear like 30-second snippets of them doing commentary. Why don't they just let them do all the commentary for this? I don't quite understand why they do that. Anyway, it's a typical massive tag match. Loads happening in the build to the finish. All the finishes and signatures. And the Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer and they win. So they're getting a little bit of momentum as well. So there has been a little bit of a change in some of the who's on the shows and who's winning after this supposed new era started. Ali is getting congratulated by all of the 205 lads, and then Shelton Benjamin shakes his hand, and out of nowhere, Daniel Bryan attacks. So he's on a rampage, isn't he, at the minute? We get Miz TV with Shane. Miz asks about the new era, and we get all the stuff that Shane's been saying, and the McMahons have been saying again. And then he says, Shane, I want to ask you about being partners again. And he says it's because of, well, it's basically because he's got daddy issues. His dad has never been proud of him, but he thinks that Shane O'Mac's amazing, and Miz wants him to partner with him for that very reason. So Shane says, Miz, you better not screw me. Let's give it a try. And Miz proceeds to do the yes chant, which was interesting. He says, I know the guy's not doing it anymore, but let's do it anyway. And then they do the yes chant. So we're going to get Shane and Miz as a tag team. Yeah, interesting. That's not really what you were expecting from a new era of WWE, was it? It's Rusev's birthday, and he vows to win on Christmas, his birthday, and, of course, Rusev Day. We then get Joe versus Jeff. Interesting thing to note here, because obviously the angle at the minute that they're going with is that Joe's on about Jeff's past addictions and his addictive nature and all that. Jeff was wearing the same face paint and outfit that he wore to that infamous TNA match with Sting, where he was out of his mind on whatever he was on, and they had to Sting had to force him into a pin just to end the match. So a little bit of symmetry with this storyline and alluding back to his past troubles with wrestling. Nice little touch that, Jeff. If it was him that came up with it, or if it was, one of the writers maybe said about it, I don't know. But yeah, it was a nice little touch. Anyway, the match. Jeff's getting in loads of pins on Samoa Joe, but he keeps rope breaking. Jeff hits Whisper in the Wind, twist of Faye, and then he goes for a swanton, but Joe rolls out the ring. So Jeff goes out of the ring and he starts kneeing the hell out of Samoa Joe on the barrier, and he gets DQ'd for it because he won't stop doing it, which I thought that was interesting. They maybe could have done like it in the ropes or something, but I don't know. I thought it was a bit weird, to be honest. At least it protects Joe in a way. He sends Samoa Joe tumbling over the commentary table, and then he goes back after him, but Samoa Joe locks in the coquina clutch, and Jeff gets knocked out, basically. Then we get Nakamura backstage saying, well, it's actually one of those video insert promo things. He says that Rusev has been naughty and he's going to get a knee to face. Mandy Rose is trying to get Jimmy Uso's attention. Apparently this is something that started on Twitter. A lot of people seemed confused by this angle because we've not seen anything about it. But apparently it's something that started on Twitter. There's obviously some mistletoe, and Mandy stops Jimmy, and Naomi comes flying from nowhere and starts throwing her shoes at Mandy Rose. And then they share a nice moment after she heads off to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Have a nice little kiss under the mistletoe. Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and this is probably one of two moments from Smackdown Live on Christmas that's a big talking point. So Shinsuke Nakamura gets a triangle in very early on, but Samoa Joe, Rusev manages to get out of that. There's an amazing clothesline that Rusev goes to do, and a transition into an armbar from Nakamura. It looks awesome. I really like it when they do those sorts of transitions. Nakamura hits a big knee off the top rope, and then he sets up for the Kinshasa, but Rusev manages to get the Machka kick in, but it's a 2 count. Shinsuke gets the triangle in again, but Rusev managed to power out, and this time he hits a powerbomb from it. Lots of false finishes, and then a Machka kick. And Rusev wins his US title back after a long time since he's had it. So, big moment for Rusev. It means Shinsuke can hopefully transition up the rung, into more of a main event picture. But the only problem with it is, and I've said it before on this channel, and I was live tweeting during the show, that I think this is as far as they see Rusev being. They just see him as a mid-card title holder. And I think that's a shame. I think Rusev could have a more prominent spot in the show. But obviously, at the minute, that's the only place they see for him. And he doesn't seem to be able to get beyond it. Anyway, I thought that was the end of the show, but it wasn't. AJ Styles goes for a meeting with Vince. And Vince gives him a pep talk. He says, I want to see, the black heart of AJ Styles. And you got to take what's yours. And he's really trying to rile him up. And he's saying, you walk the corridors, but you're not in matches anymore. And if this really is the place that AJ Styles built, then you've got to grasp it. And then he slaps him. Vince slaps AJ. I was like, what the hell? And then after that, AJ just lays Vince clean out. Oh my God. I was not expecting this to be the end of SmackDown. It was crazy. And then people obviously rush in and get AJ to leave. And then Vince sort of says that, yeah, I'm all right. So he's kind of like what he was trying to do, I think, was trying to get AJ to snap in a way. But weird sort of ending, but kind of makes me want to see what happens next week now. So the SmackDown on Christmas for me was a decent showing. little bit better than Raw, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But we've still not had an amazing show yet from this new era. So hopefully in the new year, that's what's going to happen. We're going to start getting some really kick-ass shows. But for me, SmackDown for a few months now has been the better show to close out 2018. And yeah, I'm interested to see where they go here with some of the storylines. So that was the Smackdown synopsis for the episode on December 25th, Christmas Day. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. And hopefully Adam will be back next week and we can have more in-depth discussions about the show. We'll see you for those New Year editions. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you next week.